Hey everybody, this is Becky Adams. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel today. Today I have a project for the Simple Stories design team using the brand new Boho Baby collection. So I'm starting off here with a few papers from the 6x8 paper pad that I have stitched along the side of the paper, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So to get my background ready, I'm trimming down a piece of the white Color Vibe cardstock. It's kind of hard to see here on camera, but there are tiny white dots on this cardstock. It's an awesome cardstock. I've found myself reaching for it all the time lately. And I'm using this white sheet as part of the background. So this is the 112 by 12 pattern paper that I use on this project. And it's so cute. I love the pattern. It's kind of not really a brown. There's more of a reddish tone to it. But you'll see that a little bit better in the still shots at the end of the video. So I'm just cutting out the center of this paper and leaving a 1-inch border. Some people call that gutting the paper. I've referred to it as gutting the paper before. And then I am just taking some double-sided tape from scrapbook.com and adhering that piece of white cardstock to the background. When I created this layout, I believe I was completely out of tape runner. There were a few videos that I recorded that I did not have a tape runner. I since have picked up a few of the new scrapbook.com ones, but I believe in this video I used mostly double-sided tape. And it takes me a minute. The first time I laid this down, I got it really crooked, and so I'm just carefully taking that up. And you can do that with the double-sided tape as long as it doesn't sit very long, but it's pretty sticky. Once you put something down, there's chances are it's probably not going to come back up. So I'm lining it up on my background to kind of help me adhere that a little straighter this time. Okay, so bringing back in the 6x8 papers, I am trimming those strips down to 8-inch, and I believe they're about an inch long. So 8 inches by 1 inch. And then I stitched along one of the long ends. So one of the 8-inch sides, I stitched along that side with my sewing machine and white thread. So you can see some of those threads there along the bottom. And then I don't believe, oh, I do actually end up using all of those. So I've got my T-square ruler here, and I'm going to start placing those strips on the layout, and I'm just kind of laying them out to see exactly where I want them to be placed. I love this collection. I've already done a video or maybe two using this collection. I am going to do a layout using this collection that is not baby themed, but for today this one is baby. It is baby themed, but it would be easy to switch it to a non-baby themed, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So I'm using that double-sided tape, so it takes me a little bit longer to adhere things. And I'm just putting a piece of double-sided tape there and then tucking the threads behind the pattern paper. I know some people really like the look of the threads, I guess being visible, not being tucked behind. And that's just not a look that I personally like for me. I think it's absolutely beautiful when other people do it, but it's just not my favorite technique for me to do. So again, I'm just layering these strips along the left side of my paper. I mentioned that this would be a good layout to do that is not baby themed. I end up using really only one embellishment that is really baby, but all in all, this is really just beautiful pattern paper that honestly none of the pattern paper is baby themed at all. The pattern papers that I use. Some of the pattern papers in the collection are baby themed, but there are tons and tons of B-sides that are not baby themed. And so by just switching up the title and switching up one or two embellishments on this project, it could easily convert to a non-baby themed layout. This is a fun design when you have a 6x8 paper pad or you have just a bunch of strips when you want to showcase a lot of pattern paper. So now that I have the strips all adhered, I'm just taking my fingers and kind of slightly bending up this stitched edge of the pattern paper. I have two 3x4 photos that I am using on this layout of me and my nephew. This is the first time that I got to meet him a couple months ago. Anyway, so I was so excited to finally meet him and to take some fun photos with him. So again, kind of talking about transitioning this layout to a not baby themed layout, because I know not everyone has a baby right now. But you could still use the title Sweet and then just leave that baby word off of there and make that title your own. So I'm adhering the photos just with a double-sided tape again, and just kind of very slightly overlapping them, and also very slightly adhering them so they're a little bit askew, so they're not exactly straight. And here I'm bringing in a few embellishments. With this collection, there is an entire package of rainbow die cuts. They are adorable. I believe there's rainbows and hearts. There might be a couple of stars in there too, but tons and tons of rainbows. And I'm using a couple of those here on this project, but again, they're not super baby themed. The sun and the cloud, super cute, but also not baby specific. I did adhere my journaling. Well, I'm not sure if I adhered it yet, but my journaling block is there. I adhered that, or here I'm adhering it with the double-sided tape and just slightly tucking it under those pattern paper strips. I did, I can't remember if that is a cut apart card or whether it came in the journaling bits, but I don't want that word little one showing. So I kind of toyed with covering that up. It didn't work out how I wanted it to, but watching it back now, you could easily go in and cover that with a piece of washi. But I just ran that through my printer using the American Typewriter condensed font. 99% of the time, that is the font that I use. I just really like the clean typewriter look without it being too big, and that's why I condense it. So I'm using just a date stamp from Heidi Swap. This is my favorite date stamp. I really wish that she would come out with another one that goes past 2021. So this is one of the I think this was in November, so there's only a few more times that I will be able to use that one. So after stamping the date, I'm just going to adhere that with some pop dots right there, kind of tucked behind the photo. And I've got 2 spots left that I really would like to add some more embellishment. One is right there where I'm putting that cute little bear die cut. And that's the one die cut or one embellishment that I use that I think is really baby, but it honestly, it could be used for an older child as well. So I adhered that with a couple of pop dots, and then I'm just playing with a couple more embellishments to see what works. Here you can see a little bit more of that rainbows die cut pack, and I'm just kind of flipping through that, finding another cute rainbow to finish off that other side. Looking at it now, I'm wishing that I would have cut those rainbows in half so that I still had another half to play with. But so using some foam dots, I adhered that other rainbow on the right side of the photos. And again, I'm just flipping through the die cut bits. I keep those like a little container, little cup kind of, and empty out all of my die cuts so they're easier to flip through. And then I'm just trying to fix, I've got that one kind of awkward gap there under the journaling, and it fits, this little die cut fits perfectly. And I'm not even, I think that's a wall hanging with some beads on it, but it fit perfectly. And with that, this project is finished. So I will leave the Boho Baby Collection linked in the description box below, and just hit the notify me button so that you know when that collection hits the stores. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending part of your day with me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support of my channel. I will see you again soon.